How's it going?
How are you?
Good. How are you? I'm so glad we're able to talk.
Me too. Me too. I'm happy we found some time to do this.
I know, it's awesome. So we've been friends for a while now, pretty much all of 2018, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like a lifetime in egg club world years, right?
Yeah.
How about you tell a little bit about yourself and how you got into this world of egg freezing?
Sure. I'm Angela Nguyen and I go by Ange. So that's, call me Ange, please. Um, and I'm originally from Palo Alto. I lived in New York and I lived in Milan, Florence, and all over the world. And now I'm in LA. So, did a lot of travel, did a lot of work, and kind of got to that point where my, quote unquote biological clock was not being paid attention to. And so, with technology and science, I thought, why not? And my parents were super on board on kind of like, listen, like, they're very entrepreneurial. I grew up in Silicon Valley, like I'm startup life, like all that jazz. So for me, like it's really important, to have both, but like to focus on my career right now. And so that's how I kind of even started thinking about egg freezing and how I got into that world.
Wow, that's kind of progressive of your parents that they were
I
on board.
know.
Did you have this conversation
Definitely.
with them, or like I don't know a lot of, parents that are proactive on this yet.
I know. Me, same. I was actually kind of nervous and scared. Well, but particularly because like, I'm Asian, obviously, and, I have like very traditional Asian parents, but they're, I'd say that they're traditional culturally, but they're very progressive when it comes to um, like science and tech, particularly as my dad was an engineer, like so, and my mom was a working mom too. Um, but I think what kind of like what trying to change their mind was like Facebook and Apple and kind of those like Silicon Valley like big name companies were starting to like really talk about egg freezing and giving those reproductive benefit right health
Yeah,
plan
yeah, they were adding all of those benefits to their employee.
packages. Exactly. So I think that kind of like started the conversation. And I was like, knee deep in a startup of my own. And they're just sort of like, they knew that like it wasn't time for me to kind of like settle, quote unquote, like settle down and whatnot, with respect to having children.
Were you dating, or did you like have somebody special in your life?
I do now, but when I first actually had the conversation with him, which is actually 2 to 3 years ago, I wasn't. And I think that's why it even prompted the conversation even more. Kind of like, okay, like you're not seeing anyone right now, and not in like there was no pressure. Like it was never set up by them, and they never was like they never really did anything to make me feel like I was like,
Hurry up and have our
yeah,
grandchildren.
yeah,
Where's our
so,
grandchildren at,
yeah.
Ange? Come
So
on. Are you an only child?
no, I'm the oldest of two.
Okay.
I have a younger brother, and he's checked those boxes. Like, I mean, he just got married, and they're family planning now. And not that like I'm off the hook by any means, but it's definitely they have something else to focus on.
Right. So have you
But
wanted a family? Did you know in your heart that like this is what you want into the cards of your life?
yes, for sure. But I'm also like, I'm very old fashioned and old school about like the steps. Want to be married for at least a year, blah 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 blah. I
Yeah.
wanted to
You
like
want that
you know,
timeline
yes,
to be kind of in place,
yeah.
not put the baby carriage before the wedding bells.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of friends, well, not a lot, but some of my friends were like, "Well, if you have a boyfriend now, like just have a baby now." I'm like, that doesn't. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. Not in my
I
mind.
wish people would stop saying that,
I know.
because maybe that person that you're with is great for just now and it's not your parenting partner. Like, I don't think people think that way. They're like, oh, we'll just get pregnant. Well, there's a lot
Yeah,
of planning that is involved in getting pregnant. Like, now you have to think about daycare and child rearing and school
yeah,
systems and how to pay for the child.
exactly. And like plus like it has to be like you know it's got to be two-way conversation, not like I'm not gonna man trap him. Anyway,
Yes.
it's a bit like a very not obviously I don't think they're all very serious about it because they know I would never, but it's just sort of
Yeah.
like interesting that like
Well, a lot
as
of
we get
women do.
older,
A lot
I
of women
know.
do. And we don't want to be like known for that. Like, we don't want to perpetuate that stereotype.
Agreed, agreed. So egg freezing was like the the most optimal choice for for me for now. And I sincerely hope I don't need to use them. It's like literally just a reserve or, insurance and whatnot. Like, I think timing wise, what's going to happen is I mean, obviously I would like to conceive naturally, I'm 30, yikes, I'm 37 right now. I'll be 38 in 2 weeks.
Wow, your birthday's coming up.
Yeah, literally 2 weeks from now. Oh my gosh, I already said I'm 38. Crap.
It's okay. It's okay. We are our age. It doesn't mean
mentally like accepted it.
Yeah. You're like, well, I'm kind of doing that too. Like I'm 35, but my birthday this year will be 36. And I'm kind of like, okay, this is my 36th year.
Yeah.
I do it too. I did it too, but I'm technically 35. Let's stay the age I am as long as possible.
Yes. So I'm 37 right now. We'll be 38. And then I hope that my first child will be natural conception, and then probably the second and or third will maybe lean on my reserve.
Yeah.
But, I didn't go into it being like, yes, I'm going to go do IVF. I mean, I hope, I just, it's literally because like I'll never be quote unquote that young again.
Yeah.
Or my eggs will never be that young again.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Back time, I would have done it earlier,
Yeah, that's an interesting point. So when you started getting with your new relationship, at what point, if at all, did you mention the eggs being frozen?
Like very early. So he and we have an interesting relationship past, I guess. Like we are friends. We've been friends. But we used to date a while ago, and then we split it for distance reasons. Now that we're back in the same city, we started to give it another go.
Oh.
So he's been like he's been wonderful. Like honestly, he's also in kind of like a startup. He's an entrepreneur, so he's a kind of like startup.
Yeah, so you can kind of enrich each other.
Yes, he's like very. It's like for him, it's like perfect. Like and he's also in the sciences. Like his
great.
His company is in the sciences. And furthering, like kind of like
technology. So it's really timing. Timing just kind of like set the force and neat. Yeah.
So it wasn't like I mentioned it like right away, but kind of like this is something I've been thinking of, and he's like, whatever you need, like let me know. And then interestingly, like so when I first started my startup, like now it would be like 2.5 years ago, I wanted to do it then, but I just couldn't find the time, all that jazz. So I just, like most of my life, just postponed. It wasn't until like I resigned relatively recently to start something else that I revisited the thought of freezing my eggs, and I was like, okay, like now I really got to do it, because before I thought like, oh, maybe I'll get some traction, and maybe I'll like make a decent living or sell or exit in some way, and then do this. So it really became a conversation again. Luckily, I took a sabbatical. I like de-stressed all that, traveled, and then
so you did a lot of self-care, and then you rethought about it.
I actually had a really successful procedure. I mean, I had a successful extraction. I had like 19 eggs, which in one go, which I think is fairly rare, especially in my age. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I was like in a good place, like I was like stress-free, and I actually. Interestingly, when I first got my ultrasound done, they found like 20 follicles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing like some like recruiting and consulting work for other things, other companies, and kind of going through a little stressful period, during which time I happened to have a doctor's appointment. So I took another ultrasound, like a checkup, and my follicle count went down.
Wow.
And I felt like my body was like really sensitive to my stress, sensitive, and like, I mean, literally, I mean, I don't know if it's like a theory of mine, but like I really do think like your body listens to like what you give.
It has to all be connected, right? Yeah. Our mind, body, soul. I do think that it affects.
Yeah.
I mean, you are the biological age that you are, but in that same breath, creating a time period where you can give yourself self-care and focus on this and be dedicated to that decision, I think is important.
Yeah. So then at that point,
for your best results.
Right. I literally just stopped everything and was like, okay, I've got like 2 to 3 weeks more to go, and like this better count. So I'm just gonna really go back to this like whole mindfulness, woo woo, whatever, and just have I want the best,
the Zen
one time thing I could possibly have.
So how did you pay for it? Like I'm hearing you talk about startup life, and I know entrepreneurial startup life is not necessarily easy. You go through the trenches. You're constantly, trying to be lean and stay focused on giving back to the business. So how did you come up with the money to pay for egg freezing?
So, that was, I mean, that's a great question. And I think of all the entire procedure, like from top to bottom, like the most proud is like how I managed to like save and kind of find loopholes within the, within paying. Um, my doctor, so first things first, I mean, I live in LA, but my parents are in the Bay Area and they want to be so much a part of this. So they really insist that I find a Bay Area doctor so they can like go with me to visit and like take care of me. So, and, you know, I do have friends from like, Apple, Google, and this girl from Apple was like, I know people who use Dr. Zuvez. And I actually, I'm huge on referrals. Like that's my version of research is like actually just looking for referrals because like it's better than what I would find. Like a genuine referral to me is more meaningful.
Right. It's a word of mouth. That's what we do here with like the Egg Club is we share what we know and we tell our experiences and then that way we can benefit from the information of someone else.
Yeah. So I talked to him on the phone and he was awesome. He made me feel very comfortable right away. And when we met, that sealed the deal too. But his clinic does financial relief for patients. So
wow.
On your, I know
income.
So it was really nice. Depending on your income, you could have anywhere from like 10% to 25% off. And so
wow,
I got 25% off of my
amazing.
Operation.
Who even knew that existed? What a great find, Ange.
Yeah. And I was sort of like, is this like
industry standard thing?
Yeah. And he's like, no, this is what we do in our clinic specifically.
Wow.
I think he's used to working with entrepreneurs and startups because of his environment.
Right.
And like, it's been a very wonderful thing to find for sure. And so obviously that doesn't count with medication. That's just like,
you're right. No, the hormones and the prescribed meds are their own beast.
Oh my gosh.
But okay, so you started this Instagram account, which I have to talk to you about because Sunnyside Ange, and you put all of your research in that Instagram account. Yeah, in that platform.
Yeah, if you want to go to Sunnyside Ange, like I literally have screenshots of like, not receipts per se, but like all of my Excel files of like how I broke it down. So I broke it down by like medication versus operation.
Right. And you did storage.
Yeah. And did plenty of research, like spent a lot of time and trying to find out those loopholes. And so there are certain pharmacies who, work with my doctor and or work with certain medication that give you even more. And they themselves may have financial relief. So I actually got a card that gave me, I want to say 50% off. 50% off of my certain medications.
Right.
Not all of them, but that's like, that to me was like the real saving point because medications, everyone just thinks of the operation. They don't think of anything else.
Right.
Medications I thought were almost as much as the freaking operation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if you like, they gave you it's like per dosage and like they gauge, how much you may need, but you may need more.
Right.
So like for me, for instance, I had to actually take like 2 or 3 extra days of shots. And that was like,
I did too. Yeah. It's an extra $300 a day or something crazy.
Yeah.
And because you didn't buy in bulk enough, then you're paying less
yes, exactly.
It's such a pain.
So painful. I was like shaking. I was like, oh, and I understand it's better than to over,
purchase.
And then, but I was just like, oh man, that was probably the most painful thing because it was the one that I didn't plan for. And I planned for everything else.
No, you were so detailed in your account. Everybody has to check out your Instagram account. It's fantastic. So how did you feel on the medications?
I think fine. I think. I mean, I was crampy and a little sore, like tender, bloated, like I couldn't sleep. But I thought that I was going to be this like hormone enraged monster, and I was preparing I was like, everyone beware, like she's coming out, whatever. And I think like just my normal self is already a little like crazy or a little like hypey that, the hormones didn't do anything. Like, so like my boyfriend, because he was joking and he said, maybe I should keep a journal kind of like day one, like.
Let's keep track of before medication and after medication and.
Kind of like 1 hour after this. But he's like, actually you were totally like fine. Like
Oh,
there were some times where I would be a little snippy, but not to the point where I was like a different person. And
yeah. Okay.
which, but I mean, I don't know what that says about me. But the funny thing is that one of my friends who also, like, with this account, a lot of friends came out of the woodwork to be like, oh, I did it too.
Oh,
And no one really talks about it.
you mean
Right?
you had people that you already knew in your network say, I froze my eggs too?
Yes.
That's incredible.
And I had no idea. And the thing is, they reached out to me via DM because I think they themselves probably didn't want to
Yeah.
publicly say. But so I was getting even more kind of research
Support.
like more support. And one of my friends was like, she actually found that she had a hormone imbalance because when she was on the hormones, she felt amazing. She's like, this is wonderful.
Oh, so she
And
had
so,
like a good experience with it because
yes,
it was replacing what she was lacking.
yes. And so they actually, now she's on actually hormone therapy because she would never have known that if she had not, had she not froze her eggs and like seen those deficiencies kind of like become replenished. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting for me. I don't know if it was what I took or if it was just my hormone balance or imbalance, but I felt okay. Bloated and not like sexy.
I hated wearing clothes. Like it sounds really dumb, but I was like, where's the muumuus and the maxi dresses?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Even like leggings, yoga pants, like
it's too tight.
It was tight. I had to buy like larger leggings.
Yeah. No, I had like maternity pants when I was walking into the surgery room. Before I changed.
What time of year was yours?
Well, I froze twice, and I froze actually like the exact same day, 2 years apart. I know it was nuts how it worked out, but my birthday's in September, so it always like perpetuates me like, oh, okay, another birthday is happening. It's like New Year's, right? But for your birthday. And September, fall, autumn time. And then by the time you get your checkups, you go to your OBGYN, like do all those regular visits, doctor visits to get ready for egg freezing or to get approved to do egg freezing. It's November because you start the shots in October.
Yep.
So that was my time frame. When did you freeze?
I froze in February.
Okay. Of 2018, just this past.
Past 2018. And I started like my 6-week, body cleanse, health cleanse, like gluten-free,
preparing,
no alcohol, whatever. I started that literally January 1.
Yeah, I did like a yoga retreat for like a month. I did yoga every single day for a month. It was fantastic. I was like, ooh, my body feels great.
I did lose weight. I think I gained it back again because that diet, the no alcohol, no gluten. But it's funny because New Year's Eve, I was like chugging champagne. I'm like, it's my last drink,
before I start my cleanse.
Yes. So it was like a chugging champagne.
You sound like when LA has their award season, everybody's juicing.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm doing egg freezing.
Yeah, totally. And I think that because I had to wear so many it was uncomfortable because I couldn't like just be in a
regular clothes.
Short.
Yeah,
I had to wear like sweatpants and yoga pants.
Well, luckily in California, you have great weather, unlike other areas of the country. That in January we are dealing with winter.
Yeah, I know. I can't complain. This is true. But it was so February of this year is when I did it, and I couldn't be happier. I'm like super, super stoked. I got nervous when those two cryo banks kind of like
had some disruption in with their tanks failing.
Yeah. So I was, and the funny thing is, so my doctor recommended 3 banks that he himself is just, it's a fertility clinic, Zuva's clinic, and it's not the whole.
They don't keep all the eggs and embryos on storage on site unless like you're going to be in an active cycle and you're just trying to get pregnant now or something. Yeah. And a lot of clinics do that. I think, how did you feel about transporting your eggs to somewhere else?
For me, like in my mind, whenever it's like, oh, a professional will do it. In my mind, when someone is like a quote unquote professional or like they're designated to like handle something, I don't get, it's like psychological. I'm like, oh, they know what they're doing.
Right.
So it wasn't, and plus because he had referred 3 of them.
Yep. And then you did your evaluation on each one. And then which one did you go with?
I went with
Repotech.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah. And they were, to be quite honest, like they were the most comforting and friendly, at least on the phone. Like I
Yeah.
talked to like several representatives,
They're
and
very
each
trusted.
time they are. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Good. I'm
so
glad
I
I
know
was
them.
able
I
to.
know them through the industry, and
Ah,
so they've been doing egg freezing, storage, embryo storage, sperm storage for over 28 years. It's amazing.
okay. So I chose the right one.
Yeah, yeah, of
Yeah,
course,
good,
of course.
good.
I mean, like you said, we're
Yeah.
going back to the professional. They're all professional, but I think Rebotech has like the best rates in the industry.
Yes, they do. It was so, yes.
That
I
chart
felt
that
like
you
they were
made
reasonable.
on Instagram was insane and so mind-blowingly like real. It's right in front of you. You know,
Yeah,
like, wow, why are we paying $800 at a clinic when we could spend 250 or 200-ish a year,
yeah,
depending on how
yeah,
long you want to store them? And especially like if you don't think you're going to use them right away. Like if you know
yeah,
probably baby number one will be try to be natural or try to be on your own, and then this is for baby number two or baby number three, and or if you need them when baby number one doesn't happen. So that's going to be a couple years down the road. Like, you know, it's not going to be next year.
no, exactly. So I feel super safe, comfortable. I'm very happy.
That's
Like,
great.
really.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So what would be your biggest takeaway advice that you would give somebody listening or hearing or watching this today about your egg freezing journey? Like what would you tell somebody that's debating it?
So, if someone was debating it because of price, I would say there are ways to go about it. There
Yeah, where
are
there's a will, there's a
financial,
way.
there's a way for sure. I saved about like 20, almost 30% overall, including everything. Like so I saved like, like almost $4,000.
Do you know the
Um,
total amount that you paid or like a
I
ballpark?
do, I think total together was like 12,000 something.
Okay.
And that's with like, I think 5 years of still paid
Storage.
5 years of storage. And then, all the insurance on top of that, like in case
Mm-hmm.
something funky happens.
Yep.
And then the operations, the medications, like everything all together, and the extra medications.
Yeah.
So it was about like a little under
That's it. That's
13.
it. That's amazing. Like that is a really economical egg freezing cycle.
Thank you. And I don't have to do it again.
Yeah.
So like I know some people have to do it like 2-3 times. So like for
Yeah.
me, it was like timing wise, it was perfect. So like if you're gonna kind of if
Make the
prices are,
investment.
yeah, make the investment and do it sooner, like now if
And
you
yeah,
can,
because
sooner
this
rather
is the
than later.
youngest your eggs will ever be is today.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. But I mean, there is a trade off because technology now is way better than it was even a couple years ago.
I
So I
know.
think I really it was a perfect storm for me.
Well,
Truly, it felt
yes.
like a perfect storm.
And we were
Yeah.
the perfect age that like
Yes.
we fit the demographics of when egg freezing is most beneficial.
Yes. And there's no, honestly, I don't know. I don't think there's a stigma anymore. At least I haven't felt a stigma, especially being open with it. It has been nothing but a flood of support and inspiration of other people. Like, oh, I know people who are getting it done because of my account. And, I've made
You're
friends.
inspiring them
Yeah. I actually went over
to
to a
make
friend,
that leap.
this girl, like she lives in LA and was like, she's like, do you want to come over and help me do my shots? I'm like, okay. I mean, we just
Yes.
met through Instagram
Yeah.
and I helped her like, make
It's
some
our own
eggs.
community. It's like, we have a little egg club going on where we
Yeah.
support each other. I love that. I love that because, it is kind of like the women's time right now, right? But more so it's hard to be public about those things because it's very vulnerable and it's personal and it's a very personal choice and we're all freezing for different reasons. And it kind of bugs me that like with the media and the news like to pigeonhole why we're doing this. Well, maybe it's just because it's smart.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a spinster late. I think there's like that stigma of like, oh, she can't get a man or, oh,
Yeah.
I have a boyfriend and, and all that. And even if I didn't, it still wouldn't have changed the timing of this. But it's because I myself am not right. I mean, I don't even feel 37/38. Like I don't, I don't live my life like what my mom would have been when she was 38.
I know. It is a different time period and life is different these days. Yeah. Well, this is great. And I'm so glad we got together and got to talk like this. Any last thoughts?
If you need if anyone has any like questions, nothing's off limits. And I mean, I'm here to support anyone that wants to go on this journey truly. Please reach out to me or Val or whatnot. You've been very helpful. Like you were probably the first to kind of like reach through through the internet to be like, hey, if you need anything, here's my number. I will help you, because I was I didn't know what the F I was doing. I was bruising myself like crazy with the shots, and you reached out to me.
I'm like,
I'm
that's
very thankful.
normal.
I know.
That's what happens.
I'm so thankful for, for your,
Oh.
for all that you do. I don't want to say your service per se, but like it is a service in a way. You're putting information out there like for free. You're giving education to people, giving them access to it. Like, I'm really thankful that you exist as a platform. It makes it easier for me to exist as a platform.
Yeah. Well, I'm
So,
inspired by you, Ange. I mean, I was like, oh, I need to step up my game because I have not broken it down the way you have. I kind of just know it in my head, but because I talk this talk every day, like for both work and
yeah.
for other people to help through their journey, I guess I just forget what I know,
No,
but
totally.
I wanted to create this community both for Experience and Eggology Club podcast because it's a way for you to digest these things and use the knowledge that I have in my head and share it to others, because I feel like, what's the point of being really knowledgeable about something if you don't share it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the language I break it down is definitely more for like consumer friendly. I mean,
Yeah.
not that you have, but like
I'm a little more technical, but you are like, you are looking at it from the aspect of, hey, this is exactly what happened to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully people, get that, feel
Vibe.
the same way about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Well, let's keep in touch and follow everything you're doing online and watch your journey unfold. This is so exciting. Exciting. Well, bye, Ange. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for calling.
Okay, bye, dear.
Bye.